Eclipse Task Force. Good morning, Don.
Good morning.
Where are you?
I'm 30 minutes north of Nashville in a town called Springfield. I'm in a Walmart parking lot, and we have a bunch of folks from all over the country right here with me.
Why are you there? Why aren't you in, like, Carbondale, Illinois? I thought that was ground zero, or St. Louis was ground zero.
Well, St. Louis is definitely ground zero as far as I'm concerned. Unfortunately, it's also ground zero for what looks like to be some clouds this afternoon. So we decided, a couple of us decided basically to go where right now we're looking up. We have pretty clear skies, and it's going to be, the forecast is clear skies all the way through the end of the day. It wasn't quite the same case in St. Louis and Carbondale. As much as I love those guys, it's going to be really busy there. So we're down here at 2 minutes and 35 seconds. It sounds pretty good to us so far, at least.
All right. What are you hoping to see, Don? What are you most excited about today?
Well, of course, the real main show is not the partial before or after the total eclipse. We're looking for the total eclipse. We want to see that beautiful outer atmosphere called the corona of the sun. And I'm sure we're going to have some crowds cheering down here. We have seen a lot of road signs. We're not that far from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, that we're talking about don't park along the road. Traffic so far is not too bad, but we're definitely starting to see things pick up a little bit. So I think we got ourselves staked out a pretty good spot, and I'm hoping this will be just a great day for us.
So I understand you're not supposed to look at the sun unless you have the glasses on. But if you have the glasses on, will you be able to see the moon sort of move in front of the sun like you're seeing on some of those clips on TV?
Absolutely. That's what those glasses are made for. You'll be able to watch that through the entire process. However, when the sun is completely covered by the moon, and that's after the diamond ring, and whenever you're looking through glasses, it'll simply go away. You can take those glasses off if you're in totality, and you'll need to do that to be able to see the outer atmosphere of the sun called the corona.
And then once the moon starts to move away, then you'll have to put the sunglasses back on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to add one caution for my friends back in St. Louis that might be actually in clouds. It'll be pretty tempting to try to take off everything and just in terms of your glasses and just look for the sun in the sky. If you're trying to look at the sun through the clouds, you're still getting that ultraviolet radiation, which is very dangerous. So don't try to stare at the sun and look for it. That's just something you really don't want to do.
What are the glasses made of?
They're actually, it's basically there's different types of coatings, but the most popular one is aluminized mylar. It's basically designed to block all ultraviolet, all infrared radiation, and almost all the visible light so that you can only see just the very brightest lights. Of course, that's the sun, or if you look at a projector, maybe the filaments of the projector.
Mm-hmm. There's two things. You're talking about the moon going in front of the sun, but once you're in totality, as they're calling it, and you take your glasses off, will it be as dark as it is in the middle of the night with no moon?
Well, it'll be as dark as the middle of the night, except with a full moon. In other words, the brightness of the corona is pretty much the same as a full moon. So if you go out on any full moon night, that's what you would really expect to see here. Now, the difference is that if you look above you, it'll be dark. But on the other hand, the shadow itself is only 70 miles wide, which means anywhere you stand, it's only 35 miles to the edge. And so that means the horizon will be light. So you're going to have darkness above you and light on the horizon, which is going to be a very weird thing compared to a normal, like a night that you might expect.
Yeah. How about, would it be comparable to a storm cloud overhead and looking away from the storm cloud and seeing sun on the other side of the storm cloud?
I think that would be very similar to it, yes. In fact, whenever you look west, if you're able to get in some sunshine, whenever you look west, that shadow will be approaching 1,500 miles an hour. That'll be a very eerie kind of thing, a little bit like a storm is approaching.
Yeah, say that again, because this is moving very fast. A storm cloud moves relatively slow, right? But this
That's
shadow is going to move fast. Are we going to be able to see how fast this shadow moves?
Well, if you can get high enough, if you can get into, let's say, the top of a building or top of a high hill, one of the really cool things is that shadow rolls in really very fast. And it's also circular because, of course, the moon is circular, and it creates a circular shadow, right?
Yeah.
So as that thing was moving towards you, it'd really be an awesome thing to kind of watch it come, be in the shadow, and then watch it go away at 1,500 miles per hour.
Don, how many people do you think are traveling to St. Louis and the metropolitan area for this event?
It's really hard to say. I know that the estimation is that Festus was the closing driving destination for 13.8 million people. And I think Missouri, they expected up to 1 million visitors, and I think a lot of those would come into St. Louis. It's hard to say, and what's really hard to say is that if you look west, I think that the cloud system is even worse. And so it's very possible that people in the west of the state or even in other states could be actually traveling to St. Louis to see this thing.
So you're saying that the roads could be very busy between now and, say, 1:30 today?
It's very possible, yes. It just depends on what the I guess the thinking of the people really be. You know, it's very possible because I know when we left last night, it was one of those things you say, I don't know, this is really strange because the weather was improving in the St. Louis area and it had gone from like 75 or almost 80% clouds to down to 60% clouds. And that trend could continue. I don't know exactly what will happen. I haven't had a chance to look this morning, but if that trend continues and it's really bad in the west side of the state, you can expect some travelers.
Don Ficken, chair of the St. Louis Eclipse Task Force, broadcasting from a Walmart somewhere in Tennessee, right?
Springfield, Tennessee. It's just about 30 minutes north of Nashville.
All right, Don, thanks for checking in. Have a good Eclipse Day.
Yeah, thank you. You guys too.
You got it. Don Ficken, chair of the St. Louis Eclipse Task Force. Pretty special day. 7:26.